Hello everybody, so we are back here with season 2 episode 2 of Site B mode. We are on Isla Sorna for you guys. So to recap what happened last episode, we kicked off season 2 episode 1. Basically it was a debriefing, and I wanted to go into a little bit of detail without going into detail about what's been going on here on the island. And as I mentioned in the last episode, we've been doing a lot of remodeling, a lot of recloning, a lot of new species, and you guys actually got to see a few of those new species last episode. So that was what the first episode of season 2 was basically about. I explained a little bit about what's been going on, and you guys seen some more new dinosaurs, and yeah. So and as I mentioned in the last episode, the more episodes we get into, the more amazing things you guys will see. And you guys shared your thoughts with me in the comments on that last documented footage on you guys would prefer 35-minute videos over 25-minute videos, and I'm all for that. I just want to make sure you guys were for that, because the longer you guys get to look at these species, the better. So anyways, today in episode 2, we are actually in our research facility right now. It is not the breeding facility that you guys seen in season 1, and that has actually been remodeled as well, but this is our research facility. So I actually wanted to do something special today. I think the core dinosaur fans and core Jurassic Park fans who heard about the incidents on the islands in 97 and 2001 and in 93 years ago, I think you guys would appreciate this more than other people might. But so here in our breeding facility, here in our research facility, our dinosaur research facility, and we have a lot of these set up around the island. We pick certain areas where there's not really too many carnivores at, because carnivores ruin everything. So but we pick certain areas where there's not too much dino activity at, for us to always set up shop. So here in our research facility, we basically have some of the first generation dinosaurs from the 90s. So these trikes are some of the first trikes that were on Isla Sorna that did not make it over to Isla Nublar. And every dinosaur that we keep here in our excuse me, every dinosaur that we keep here in our research facility, these guys are like sort of up in age. So it's important that we keep these guys very close to us, so we can study these guys as good as we can, extract as much DNA from these guys when they do eventually pass on, so that we can continue their generations down the line. And obviously, when dinosaurs breed, a lot of different color variations come out of those dinosaurs, but these are some of the first variations that Engine created long before I worked here, which is why it's important for us to keep track of these dinosaurs here on the island. And once they get up old in age, or they get a lot of diseases or a lot of injuries, they will live out their last days here. So as I mentioned, these trikes are some of the original trikes from way back in the 90s, and as I said, they did not make it over to Isla Nublar when the original park was supposed to be up and running in 93. So to go more into detail about this, if you pay attention to when we're out on the mainlands and we're checking out which dinosaurs are in certain areas, you will see trikes with this color variation, but they're other generations. They're not like these. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 are like the founding fathers of other trikes that are out there, on the mainland. So those trikes that are out there on the mainland came from these 6 trikes originally, and they started everything, to put it like that. And they are up in age, so we have to look after them so we can continue those generations. So basically, that's what we're going to be doing here in this research facility. I'm going to be showing off the dinosaurs that we have here. In this little area, we have our 3 Ankylosauruses. And if you notice, there's nobody here right now. My co-workers do not want to be seen on camera or anything like that. And plus, it's nobody's business. We're just here to look at dinosaurs. So my co-workers, they don't want to be seen. So anyways, we have our Ankylosauruses here, and these are 3, and we're going to be quick with this because we're actually going to be going to another part of the island pretty soon. But these are three Ankylosauruses that, you know, if you guys read on what happened in, you know, 2001, yes, species like Ankylosaurus, Corythosaurus, Ceratosaurus, and Spinosaurus were illegally cloned. And these are the remaining three from 2001. They weren't born in 2001. I think they were born around 98 or 99. Excuse me. I think they were born around 98 or 99, but these are the last three from that year. And as I mentioned, same thing with the trikes. If we go out into the mainland, you will see Ankylosauruses that look exactly like these variations of Ankylosauruses we have here. But these are every dinosaur here. I want to say in our research facilities, every dinosaur we have is like the founding father to the rest of the dinosaurs that are out on the mainland. You know, when these guys get old, it's our job to study them. You know, we'll rather them die in captivity and we can keep their bones and study them, extract DNA, learn more about them, versus them dying out in the wild here on Site B, Isla Sorna, and you know, their bones get picked off by other dinosaurs and get buried by, you know, just debris and a whole bunch of other stuff. So this is how we stay successful here on Isla Sorna, by making sure our founding fathers, the original dinosaurs from the 90s, the last remaining original dinosaurs from the 90s, you know, die in captivity. That way we can study them. So over here we have 4 Ceratosauruses. In 2001, during Dr. Grant's time on Isla Sorna, he documented that he only came in contact with 1 Ceratosaurus, but a few were cloned. I think about 10 Ceratosauruses were actually cloned illegally, and these are 4 only remain. There are more Ceratosauruses out in the wild, but these are the 4 from, I want to say they were born around 98. Yeah, I want to say 98, and Dr. Grant seen one in 2001. So these are the 4 Ceratosauruses from 98. They are very, very old. Almost all the dinosaurs on our research facility are like seriously up in age and close to dying, which is why I keep stressing how important it is that we keep close tabs on these dinosaurs and study them as good as we can. So see what else we got. We're gonna go okay, yeah, so we have some other dinosaurs right over here. So over here in this little area we have some Parasaurolophus. So in future videos I will get into, you know, actually I'll say that, I won't mention it now. But so over here we have our Parasaurolophus. So if we zoom up a little bit closer, the more brownish type Parasaurolophus are the ones that were reported on by Dr. Ian Malcolm in '97 here on Isla Sorna. And the more greenish type ones are the ones that were reported on by Dr. Grant in 2001. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe that's 8. We have 8 parasaurs that are from the late 90s, mid to late 90s. And you know, just in episode 1 of season 2, we've seen I believe it was green variants of these Parasaurolophus, and that just goes to show you that though these 8 Parasaurolophus are the only remaining 8 from the 90s, they still continue to carry that green or brown variant in their genes for, you know, other Parasaurolophus to pick up. So and that's very important to us, honestly, because, you know, the original, and we still have some original members from the original engine crew, but the original engine crew put in a lot of work to get these genes and these colors and these characteristics from these Parasaurolophus and all these dinosaurs here in our research facility, which is why it's very important that we continue to study these dinosaurs. So anyways, right behind our little compound, we're going to go into another area in a minute. We have our little Stegosaurus area, and these are our little Stegosaurus containers. Sometimes we use these to transport these hefty guys. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 Stegos in the area. These are, yeah, I think it's 5. So, and these are the variants that Dr. Ian Malcolm and Sarah actually reported on back in '97, and these are the only 5 remaining from that year. And as I mentioned with the other dinosaurs, if you go out into the wild, you will see that you know, there's other Stegosauruses with this color variant. but they're not these original guys from the 90s. These guys are the founding fathers for, you know, all the other Stegosauruses out there. So and I personally love this color variant. I love when we breed these kind of guys like this. So yeah, it's really important to me that we keep these guys, you know, up and running super well. So anyways, and as I said, we're gonna be quick with this. As I'm scrolling through the island with our GoPro camera, you'll see tents set up. Sometimes our my co-workers, you know, will get out and we'll set up shop in tents, study these dinosaurs a lot more, and get up close and personal with them. So this is just another part of our research facility, just a few meters down to the main part. So over here we have some Corythosauruses which were illegally bred. I want to say 98, 99, or 99. Let's say 99. You know, I have to go back and look at the papers, but they were illegally cloned and released into the wild in 2001. So, and these are the Corythosauruses that Dr. Grant actually reported on when he was, you know, on Isla Sorna back in 2001. So we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 Corythosauruses from the year 2001 that were born in the late 90s. And these guys, as I mentioned numerous times already, these guys are indeed the founding fathers to any other Corythosauruses that you may see out in the wild. You may see them in different color variants. That's because we're constantly splicing up the genes of our dinosaurs to, you know, see how they adapt to more animal genes. You know, we're constantly doing research out there on our expeditions. We put in a lot of work. You know, not even just obviously for you guys are the viewers, you know, I'm getting this footage for you guys, but you know, just for ourselves, because we are huge fans of what we do and we work hard, you know, to make this stuff happen, you know. So we try to get these dinosaurs as realistic as what they would have been millions and millions and millions of years ago. Anyway, so yeah, these are our Corythosauruses from 2001. I think I counted 8. They are from the late 90s, and they are indeed up in age, just like every other dinosaur in the area. I mean, every other dinosaur in this research facility. So over here, as you see, we have our containers set up. You guys could probably already know what enclosure we're about to look at right now based off that. That is the Velociraptor pen. So over here we have our Velociraptors, which should be pretty exciting for a lot of viewers. A lot of people who watch season 1, you will remember that I went on a little jungle tour, I guess you can say, through the jungle, and we kind of got chased by some tiger raptors, but it was actually a pretty cool experience, and I'm glad I got that documented for you guys. But here we have some female tiger stripe raptors, male tiger stripe raptors, and some female raptors that were reported on by Dr. Grant in 2001, and male quilled velociraptors that were reported on by Dr. Grant in 2001 as well. So it's very important because these guys are the ones that were reported on by Dr. M. Malcolm are the ones from the late 90s, and then the ones that were reported on by Dr. Grant, of course, are the ones from 2001, the year 2001. So these are the remaining ones that are from those years, and it's important that we keep these guys just as well. You guys know how important velociraptors are, you know, to our company, to InGen, and to what we do. So yeah, I believe that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who knows? There could be some more hiding in the background somewhere, you know, who really knows. Velociraptors are very, very good at staying put and staying hidden. So so yes, these guys are also up in age. It will be a sad day when these dinosaurs pass here, you know, but that's why we splice them with a lot of animal genes, because they live a lot longer, you know, they mature a lot faster, so we don't have to, you know, go through a long process of watching them and, you know, as, you know, babies and they can get picked off pretty quick, you know. So that's why, you know, they mature a lot. Our dinosaurs here, we clone them in a way to where they mature a lot faster. So, and you know, that's always a plus, because you'll have adult dinosaurs versus having baby dinosaurs that'll get picked off more quick, more prone to diseases. It's just like a child, you know, a child has to always be updated on his shots. So yes, and this is also pretty cool because this is the first you guys get to see tiger stripe raptors mixed with the quilled velociraptors and the more whitish black female velociraptors. So anyways, we're gonna move right over here in this little area. in our research facility, we have our brachyes. So as you guys know, there are many variants of brachyes. On Isla Nublar, there were different variants of brachyes. We do have those brachiosauruses here too, here on Isla Sorna, the more lightish brown type brachiosauruses. But these are the brachiosauruses you will see roaming Isla Sorna a lot more versus the ones that were on Isla Nublar. And I believe there's 4 in the area. I think I counted 4. There's a 4th one around here. I counted before I started recording. But also, yeah, these 4 are the ones that were reported on by Dr. Grant in 2001. And there's only 4 left from 2001, born in 98 or 99. And it's important that we keep these guys too. Just in episode 1 last week, you guys seen some of these variants out in the mainland. So that goes to show that we're constantly extracting DNA from these guys to keep these variants fresh, to keep their generations going down the line. Because I personally love these brachiosauruses a lot. And before I started working with InGen, when Dr. Grant reported on these guys long ago, back in 2001, I was happy to read about all of that stuff. So yeah, we got these guys here. They're up in age just as well, and like I said, all these dinosaurs here, we will not be releasing them back into the wild because we can't afford to have their body parts, scavenged all over the place by other, dinosaurs. So we have to have these guys here. So you guys just heard that roar. Yes, that is a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but this will be very, very special for many people because this is no Tyrannosaurus Rex. This is not Rexy, but this is the doe. This is the doe that Dr. Ian Malcolm reported on back in '97. And you guys remember when the buck got loose in San Diego and he had to be transported back to Isla Sorna with Junior. And it was reported on that he eventually paired back up with his doe. So unfortunately, you guys know we've been doing this footage for a long time now, so we comb lots of places of the island. But unfortunately, Buck is no longer here with us. Only Doe has survived, and she's very up in age. She's very, very up in age, and she's actually from the same. This is something a lot of people actually been wanting to know for a long time. She's from the same clutch of eggs that Rexy was from, or she was cloned the same time Rexy was cloned. So she's the same age as Rexy, but Rexy has had, she's had, I guess you can say she's had a better life because she hadn't had to fight she didn't really have to fight any other carnivores on Isla Nublar because she's the largest carnivore on Isla Nublar. But here you have Doe, who spent most of her life with Buck, but he passed on, so she has to share Isla Sorna with a lot more carnivores, and we've been doing a lot of cloning, so carnivores are constantly getting added to this island. So I think it's very important that she spends the rest of her life here in captivity, where we will look after her, study her, produce more Tyrannosaurus Rex with her variants and her color variant and characteristics just like her. It's very unfortunate that we didn't get to study her too much, and it's not that much footage here on her. Isla Sorna is very huge, so she was already very hard to find as it is, and she was found without Buck. So it's safe to assume that the Buck Tyrannosaurus Rex is indeed dead. We haven't found him. We haven't found any bones, from him or anything like that. So it is very safe to assume that he is dead. And they were a mated pair. Our Tyrannosaurus Rex, we cloned them to mate for life. So it's safe to say Buck is, unfortunately has passed on. And as far as Junior, I really don't think Junior is alive anymore either. He would definitely, he's a male Tyrannosaurus Rex, so he probably would have departed the nest very early, but I don't really think Junior is here anymore either. So it's just Doe. We will look after her for as long as we can until she passes. We will not be releasing her out into the wild. She is very, very, very valuable to us. Excuse me. So anyways, guys, and these are our Tyrannosaurus Rex pins. We use them to transport Tyrannosaurus to our breeding facility or to our research facilities. Isla Sorna is very big, and the more episodes we get into, you guys will know what I was talking about the remodeling. Isla Sorna is so big that we can take the time out to remodel the island. So we have a lot of stuff set up, research facilities, breeding facilities, And yeah, we do that to just make sure we get the best things for you guys. To get the best things out of our dinosaurs, to continue to breed healthy dinosaurs so we can release them out here into the wild. And yeah, so I felt it was very, as I said, you know, you guys would really appreciate looking at the first generation of dinosaurs. You know, we have more research facilities set up with other first generation of dinosaurs bred by the original engine crew, and it really just depends on who has survived, you know, this long. And every dinosaur I've showed you guys in this little research facility has had, you know, has had the ability to survive all of those years here on this very harsh island. And I guess you can say it wasn't really as dangerous as Isla Sorna was. It's not really, it's more harsh now because of what we've done here and what we will continue to do. But we do that just to get the best out these dinosaurs. We do that to study them, as I mentioned numerous times on in season 1. You know, when a dinosaur count get low, we will automatically repopulate it. We will not let it fall back into extinction. There's been dinosaurs here that you know, unfortunately were subject to cruelty, but we do our best. Me and my crew, me and my superiors, we do our best to make sure that these dinosaurs stay thriving. So anyways, we are going to go to another part of Isla Sorna. We're going to search the area, see what we can find, with the dinosaurs in their natural habitats. I wanted to show you guys this because I felt it was very important. A lot of people had questions for those dinosaurs from the original 90s, you know, what happened to those original clones? Did they die? Did they, you know, get into many fights and succumb to their wounds? So I thought it would be pretty cool to show you guys today some of those OG first clone dinosaurs, you know, that engine clone. So anyways, let's get a move. Alright guys, so we have transitioned over to another part of Isla Sorna. We're going to see what dinosaurs we can check out here in their natural habitats and see what we can find in the area. So I believe you gotta get close with these ornithomimids. So okay, so I was gonna say this was probably a galley, but it's not. Neither is it a Stryphiomimus. It's an Archiniphomimus, and correct me in the comments if I said the name wrong. But if you guys remember from season 1, this is actually one of the dinosaurs from our new engine list that we successfully released out into the wild on season 1. So it's good to see these guys. I'm pretty sure people will be happy to know that these guys are actually doing pretty successful out here in the wild, which is what we love to see, because even though I mentioned numerous times that when dinosaurs count gets super low, yes, we will you know, repopulate them, but that's always the last thing we want to do, because that means that the dinosaurs are not doing good. But also in the area we have some Sinoceratops or Sinoceratops, however you like to pronounce them. So these guys don't really like to share the area too much with other ceratopsians, so they might be the only ceratopsians in the area. And if they do share the area with more ceratopsians, you know, a lot of battles will often take place, because these guys are very territorial, and yeah, they usually always get into conflict with the trikes, which is always something pretty cool to see. So and it looks like we have some more, let me see, yeah, we have some more Sinoceratops down here along with a Parasaurus. And let me see, because Apatosauruses are not usually alone here on the island. So it should be some more Apatosauruses in the air. Okay, there's one right there. See, these guys usually don't really break off into huge groups. I remember growing up as a kid, I would often watch dinosaur documentaries, and you would see Apatosauruses in huge herds, and or at least that's just how we genetically cloned our Apatosauruses, to where, you know, they break off. They usually be in groups of 2, groups of 4. And they require a lot of huge space, but not as much huge space as Brachy's do. So you'll see them in areas like this, you know, confined areas with a lot of vegetation, but areas that's not too confined with a lot of vegetation. As you can see, there's enough open space for these guys to maneuver around and enjoy what they like to eat. So we're going to see what else we can find. We have a, let me see, an Edmontosaurus right here, which is one of my favorite hadrosaurs. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite, because it's just so calm, cool, and collective. And as I mentioned in season 1, Edmontosauruses are like deers, you know. You're going to see them all over the place here on the island. Unfortunately, back in '97, during Dr. M's Malcolm trip here to Isla Sorna, there weren't any Edmontosauruses for him to document, so they were actually extinct. So when we started this site B, oh, hold on, wait, what is this? A Megalosaurus. So we actually seen a Megalosaurus in the last episode, episode 1. So it's cool to actually see them again. This is a more of a green variant, green red I guess it's a green blue type variant actually. So pretty cool to see this guy. And if you guys remember from episode 1 of season 2, these Megalosauruses were actually in groups. So I don't really know if this Megalosaurus is by itself. As you can see, it's taking refuge here amongst a lower titan, which is actually my favorite hadrosaur. For reasons I won't get into, you know, I'll save that for another video. But it's taking refuge here with a lower titan and Edmontosaurus and Ankylosaurus, which is some good dinosaurs for it to actually hunt. And I believe we have lost the Megalosaurus. It's probably because it's a green variant, so it can actually blend in pretty smooth with the vegetation, which helps it out a lot. Let me see. Okay, so one of them have actually made a kill on an Edmontosaurus. So we have 2 Megalosaurus here. You know, they always break off into groups. They're very small carnivore, as I mentioned in episode 1. In between Allosaurus, smaller than Baryonyx. So these guys will often always stay in groups. Yes, it's a greenish reddish. I'm just making up colors here, but it looked like it got some blue splash into it. This is a male, and this one right here is a male as well. Food is pretty plentiful for them. You know, this is as I mentioned, Edmontosaurus, Ankylosaurus, lower titan. So food is very, very, very plentiful for them. Nothing for them to worry about. And they probably won't share this area. I mean, if there are any other large carnivores in this area, because these guys are scavengers, you know, with food being so plentiful around here. This guy's probably spooked. With food being so plentiful around here, they can afford to wait for a large carnivore like a Rex or Carcharodontosaurus or a Spinosaurus to make a kill. And you know, as I mentioned, with food being so plentiful, you know, they can easily just go scavenge off that meal if they can't, you know, seem to get a kill on these hadrosaurs. And these hadrosaurs are actually bigger than them. That's how small these Megalosaurs are. So we got more Edmontosaurus and more lower titans in this area. This is a pretty rich area for them. Oh, so here's actually a new species that I'm glad you guys actually are getting to see right quick. So this is a Margosaurus. So this is a new species that we cloned during our absence when we weren't filming any footage for you guys. And these guys, obviously they're sauropods, but they're nothing like your Diplodocus. Growing up, I always thought Diplodocus was Diplodocus. I still know people who actually call Diplodocus Diplodocus. But so yeah, we got our Diplodocus here. I mean, oh man, we got our Margosauruses here, and they're not like the Diplodocus and the Parasaurus and Camarosauruses. These guys actually don't feed on tall plant life. They actually feed on small vegetation. They break off into groups. So these are just, you know, the more the merrier. These are just more dinosaurs here that the Megalosauruses could hunt after. And I'm glad that we're actually seeing more Megalosauruses, because just goes to show how well they are doing. You know, we've seen them in the first episode, so it's just good to be seeing them again. So we're going to check out more of the area and see if we can find any more Megalosauruses around here. Just love our GoPro camera. They get through everything. Got more Sino or Ceratops, as I said, however you guys like to pronounce it. More Archiniphiomymesis. Yeah, this is a perfect area. And you know, there's probably not crazy large carnivores in this area like Tyrannosaurus Rex or Carcharodontosaurus, mainly because, you know, those guys require, this is a perfect area to hunt, but those guys require huge hunting grounds. So you'll see them more in a lot more open type areas. And here's a Stegosaurus actually. See what we got. We have Alice. We have 2 Allosauruses. Wow. So these guys are sharing this territory with the Megalosaurus, which is very interesting. These are 2 male Allosauruses. You can always tell which is female and male by body shape and size, and mostly color. We always breed a certain color for our male and females, and green is usually always going to be the male. So these guys are probably very close with each other. I wouldn't even be surprised if they're brothers that haven't, you know, left each other yet, because they, as you just seen them socializing pretty well there, and they are taking refuge here amongst Stegosauruses, you know, Archiniphiomymuses or Margosauruses, Allure Titan, and Edmontosaurus. So you'll see these more medium-sized carnivores here versus large carnivores like Tyrannosaurus Rex and Carcharodontosaurus, Spinosaurus, and stuff like that. So the Stegosauruses are pretty hefty in this area, and I can imagine that the Allosauruses wouldn't pretty much mess with them, even though, you know, these guys are both from the Jurassic period, and these guys probably would have fought a lot, you know, during that time millions of years ago. But these Allosauruses are not dumb. They obviously know who they can pick off and who they can't pick off, or who's going to be a problem. Trying to see what this guy's up to. So they know who's going to be a problem, who's not going to be a problem. I think we might have a fight that's about to escalate, which would not be smart for this Stegosaurus, mainly because there's two Allosauruses here, and they're both showing hunting behavior. This is why we get this footage, guys, because it's very important for us to pick up on these characteristics so we know more about our dinosaurs, and you guys get to know more about our dinosaurs as well. So it seems that this Stegosaurus is actually trying to avoid conflict with the Allosaurus by ignoring it, which is probably a smart thing to do, you know. Stegosaurus have that beautiful thagomizer, but I mean, if you can avoid conflict, it's just like self-defense in real life. If you're out in the streets and someone's trying to fight, if you can avoid that conflict, you know, why not? Why not live to see another day? But this Stegosaurus is not about to live to see another day. Okay, so it starts off with the first hit, and the Allosaurus pretty much tanks that hit from that thagomizer. So I don't think it was enough to scare the Allosaurus away. I don't know who you guys are rooting for. I'm rooting for the Stegosaurus to actually get away. I love Stegosaurus, and this is just very cool because battles like this would have took place, you know, during the Jurassic period, millions and millions of years ago. And the Stegosaurus, you know, Stegosaurus actually just won this battle and it scared the Allosaurus off. And these are things that we would never get to see, or you guys would never get to see, without, you know, me and my co-workers. And this is why we put in this work for you guys to get this footage and see things like this. So both the Allosaurus are actually pretty wounded. They're probably used to actually fighting Stegosauruses, and they'll probably continue to do that till they find one that gets weaker and pick them off. So anyways, we're going to scroll down a little bit more, see what else we can pick up in the area. It's actually close to me wrapping up this video. 35 minutes is indeed approaching, and I want to keep these videos around that mark. As I mentioned in the first episode, I don't want to go up to the 40-minute mark. So we're going to see what else is actually in this area. Let me see. I just want to make sure, anytime I take you guys to a new territory, I just want to make sure I always explore the area fully for you guys, because you never know what you might miss. You know, I could end the footage too early and I could pick up something and it's already too late, and yeah, so I just want to make sure always. Let me see. Okay, so we have some Pachycephalosauruses in the area. One of my favorite, you know, hard-hitting dinosaurs over the Stygimoloch. Looks like we have some more Edmontosauruses in the back. Some more Eddies is what I often call them. So yeah, okay, so we have Pachy's. Let's see if there's anything else in the area, because it's not really looking like it. Okay, so we have some Dryasauruses. So we have some Dryosaurus in the area with some Pachy's and Edmontosauruses. So Dryosaurus, since they're so small, they're, you know, going to mostly stay hidden a lot of times, hidden behind a lot of thick vegetation and out of the sight of. And that's also pretty cool. You know, I just realized we've seen some Dryasauruses, Stegosauruses, and Allosauruses, all from the Jurassic period, all here on Isla Sorna, all here for you guys to see, which is pretty amazing, because this would be totally impossible without the great work of Engine, the great work that we do here. So I believe that might be all the dinosaurs that's in this little proximity. We're probably going to head back over to the main proximity and get ready to wrap this video up, because I'm not seeing Okay, we got some Ankylosauruses. Got some Ankies in the area. And these are not any Ankylosauruses with the 2001 color variation. So that goes to show you that we do a lot of gene splicing to make sure we get a lot of different colors out of our dinosaurs, just to make them pop more. And you know, no one wants to see any bland type dinosaurs all the time. You know, growing up reading dinosaur books, I always thought all dinosaurs would be green because that's what you've seen in dinosaur books. So as I mentioned, I believe that would be all in this area, in this little proximity area. We got Dryasauruses, Pachycephalosauruses, and hold on. Oh wow, we have a Parasaurolophus. So, oh man, he's running into the vegetation. We're gonna have to wait and see if he comes out on the other side. Oh wait, more Parasaurolophus. So that's pretty cool. So we have some Parasaurolophus in the area. You guys have not seen any Parasaurolophus in season 1 of Site B mode, nor did you guys see Parasaurolophus and I mean, you guys didn't see it in season 1 of Site B mode. You guys actually haven't seen Parasaurolophus since our species document that we did on Isla Nublar. So these guys they're probably going to hang out here. You know, you got Pachycephalosauruses and Dryasauruses, which are easy dinosaurs to kill off. So these guys are probably going to hang out here in this area. Here goes another one right here. And uh-oh. Okay, so these guys are showing signs of being cannibals. They're showing cannibalistic signs. So this Parasaurolophus was actually feeding on another dead Parasaurolophus. So that's pretty unfortunate. He probably died fighting a Pachycephalosaurus. I doubt he would have tried to fight an Ankylosaurus. That's like suicide. Or he probably took a brutal kick from an Edmontosaurus. But they're going to stay in this area. This area is heavily guarded by a lot of vegetation. There's also a lot of Dryasauruses in this area, so pretty easy for them to pick off versus them sharing that other proximity with the Allosaurus and the Megalosaurus. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. We got to see some Parasaurolophus. You know, you don't really see a lot of these small carnivores a lot here because they do a lot of hiding and they're pretty good at it. So I'm just glad you guys got to see them. Hopefully we'll see them more in future episodes because I will be getting ready to wrap this episode up. So anyways, I hope you guys really did enjoy. I'm glad I got to do that little thing in the beginning where I showed you guys our research facility and showed you guys some of the OG dinosaurs from the 90s. And I really hope you guys really do enjoy that. So we will catch